All right, third grade. So today's video is going to be a little bit shorter because if you noticed, you do not have any homework for Friday this week because I'm giving you a chance to work on your project. So we just have one lesson to do today, and that is on page 568, and it is comparing and ordering decimals. So seeing which decimal is larger or less than or equals. Okay, so with comparing decimals, we can use a number line, or we can make sure that every decimal has the same number of decimal places and see which one is the largest, just like we would a regular number. Okay, so let's dive into it. Let's look at page 568. It says, Julie bought 0.43, which is 43 hundredths. Remember, you read it the last decimal place that it's in, that the last number is in. Julie bought 0.43 or 43 hundredths pounds of cheese and 36 hundredths pounds of, or 0.36 pounds of ham. Did Julie buy more or less cheese than ham? Okay, so 43 hundredths and 36 hundredths are they both end in the same decimal point. They're both hundredths, okay? So 36 is smaller than 43, so 36 hundredths, so 36 out of 100 is smaller than 43 hundredths, or 43 out of 100. Okay, so 0.36 is going to be less than 0.43. Okay, so she bought more cheese than him. I'm gonna make it. Okay, so let's look at example B. Order 0.65, 0.78, and 0.37 from least to greatest. Okay, so you may say, that's too hard, but guess what? It's the same as ordering 65, 78, and 37 from least to greatest, okay? So, except there's a decimal point in front of them. So they all are hundredths. They all end in the hundredths place, okay? So you just have to look at the numbers and put them in order from least to greatest, okay? So 37 hundredths is going to be the smallest, then 65 hundredths, and then 78 hundredths, okay? Because if you have something that is divided into 100 pieces, you have 37 out of 100 pieces, 65 out of 100 pieces, or 78 out of 100 pieces. Okay, this is just like fractions, okay? Decimals are just another way to write fractions that the denominator is a multiple of 10. Okay, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, etc., etc., etc. Okay, all right. So let's look at example C. Can tenths and hundredths name the same amount? Okay, they sure can. Okay, so 0.20 and 0.2 name the same amount. Okay, so 20 out of 100 is the same as 2 out of 10. Let's look at how. So let's look at the big box on the top of 569. Okay, so you have two of the same objects, but they're divided into different amount of pieces. So you have an object that is a square that is divided into 100 pieces on the top of page 569, okay? And then 20 of them are filled in, okay? You have the same object right underneath that that's only divided into 10 pieces, okay? And 2 of them are shaded in, all right? So if you notice, for every 10 in the hundredths, there's 1 10. Okay, so I'm gonna write that for you. So 21 hundredths is the same as 2 tenths. okay? So I'm gonna write 20/100ths equals 2/10, okay? 20/100ths equals 2/10. Now I'm gonna show you how that is possible, okay? So look at when you have 2 tenths in 20/100ths, 2/10, 0 hundredths. So you can have 2/10, 0 hundredths. It's the same, okay? It takes about the same amount of space. So if you're trying to put things in order that do not have the same number of decimal points, so let's say you're comparing what is bigger, 7/10 or 60/100ths. Which one's bigger? Okay, well 60 might be a bigger number, but that is hundredths, okay? So 60/100ths, I can add a 0 right there after it. You can't add zeros, you can't push it over from the decimal point, but I can add zeros to the end to make them have the same decimal places, okay? So 70/100ths is going to be greater than 60/100ths, okay? All right, so saying that, I want you to look down at compare under check, number 1. It says, is 7/100ths greater than, less than, or equals to 70/100ths or 7/10? Okay, let's look. You can kind of tell because the box is right there. But we have 7/100 compared to 70/100, okay? Now let's say that that was just a 7, okay? We would add the 0 so that they have the same number of decimal points, okay? And 7 is definitely less than 70, okay? So 7/100 is going to be less than 70/100, okay? All right. So for your homework, you're going to do, let's see, 570, page 570, A and B odd, okay? I know it probably looks like a lot, but it's not, and you're only doing odd, okay? Don't do the mixed review and test prep, just 570 A and B odd, and make sure you look at the pictures. But the biggest thing is make sure that you make sure that they have the same number of decimal places, and then you can just put them in order like regular numbers, okay? All right, you will have enough time to start on that so that we can talk about it when we get on Zoom. Decimals are new, so I want you to not worry, and we will get through this, and good job. All right, I'll see you in a few minutes. Bye.